Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ETNA, and this is the show where we get to all the top moving stock based on news flow as well as on technicals. And talking about technicals, now we have Vaishali Parekh joining us on the show. Very good afternoon to you, Vaishali. Thank you so much for joining us on Market Fatafat. And the first stock that you're going to flag off is Adani Ports. How are the charts looking for this one, given the fact that this one has already registered stellar up move in this year alone?
So Adani, good afternoon first of all. So if you're talking about Adani Port, we've seen good corrective move and now we see stability coming at 780 levels, and with today's candle I think it's ready for a reversal round. Above 810 I would be looking at a target of 880.
Okay, that is Adani Ports for you all. But let's move on, and Ashesha, aviation stocks in focus as well. What's the news for you?
So travelling is picking up yet again, and this has resulted in surge in airfares. In fact, ET Now check suggests that spot rates appear to be much higher than they were earlier. Broadly, 7-day forward rates over the last 2 months have remained largely the same, but 2-month forward rates over the last 2 months have also reduced. But spot rates have gone up considerably, and on the back of that, aviation stocks are in focus today.
That's the spot rates for you all, and the factor coming in, given that the rupee price as well as crude oil factors also impacting aviation stocks and keeping them in focus. But let's move on and talk about Z Entertainment. This stock is in focus as well. What we see is coming in a block deal this morning of around 5 crore shares of change of hands on the NSE block deal. Now, what we learned yesterday, and according to reports, was that Invesco was seeking to sell around $169 million worth shares, and that is around 5% stake in the company. So, on the back of that, we've seen Z Entertainment is in focus today. It's up 3% as of now.
Right, that is Z Entertainment for you. But let's talk about Gujarat Alkalis and Vaishali. How are the charts looking for this one?
So Z actually it is trying to get into the trend, and we see a good support at 255 to 58 levels. So I have recommended this to my clients at those levels, and I would see that once the stock moves past 278 to 280, I would be looking for a next target of 300.
Right, and what about Gujarat Alkalis actually, Vaishali? What's your take on Gujarat Alkalis?
So well, from this morning we have been tracking the stock, and we have given it as our momentum call. I think it's in a good trend, and with today's candlestick that I'm observing, I'm looking at a target of 975 on the near-term basis. Once that level is moved past, we would be seeing higher targets also.
All right, that's a view coming in on Gujarat Alkalis. But let's talk about Aster DM, and that one is in focus because they've announced a partnership with Al Hoikar Holdings, and this is to set up about 250 plus pharmacies. Remember, Aster Pharmacies Global is a material subsidiary of Aster DM Healthcare, and they entered into the JV agreement with Abdul Mohsin Al Hoker to manage and operate pharmacy chain across the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. They will be marketing and commercializing pharmaceutical products within each pharmacy under the Aster Pharmacy brand as well. So on back of that, you have Aster DM that is in focus. Stock is trading higher by about 2.5% as we speak.
Moving on to stock number 24, let's pull up the charts for Jindal Drilling, and Vamakshi, why is this one in focus?
Well, absolutely, this counter is in focus on the back of its Q2 numbers. Now, we saw the revenue grow by almost 38% on a year-on-year basis, has gone up from 100 crores to 138 crores. EBITDA has also seen a sharp uptick of almost 200% on a year-on-year basis, has gone up from 17 odd crores to 48 crores. Net profit here as well, we're seeing stellar gains. It has gone up from 4 crores earlier to 32 crores. EBITDA margin has also seen a very good uptick from 16% earlier to 34.5%. So on the back of that, we have this counter in focus. At one point of the day, it was trading at 332 odd levels, but it has since declined. Nevertheless, it is holding strong in the green with gains of about almost 2% as we speak.
Right, the next counter that we are going to talk about is Pidilite, Vaishali. And how is Pidilite looking on the charts to you? Do you see scope of further up move for this one?
I think so, because already a very strong uptrend. Stock has retraced substantially to make a low at 2600 levels, and now with the volume rise since 2-3 days and some signs of pickup, I think this is ready for a takeoff, and in all likelihood this can go towards 2850 to 3000 levels.
That's the view coming in on Pidilite. But let's move on, and Ashesha, Mindtree and L&T Infotech, both these are in focus. What's the view here?
Yes, both these counters are gaining in trade today, and this is because NCLT has approved the scheme of amalgamation between LTI or L&T Infotech and Mindtree. Just to give you a glimpse of what the merger scheme looks like, Mindtree shareholders will get 73 shares of LTI for every 100 shares that are held by shareholders in Mindtree. The combined entity will be called LTI Mindtree, and Larsen & Toubro will hold about 68.73% stake in the combined entity. So today, on the back of this news that NCLT has granted approval for the scheme of amalgamation, both these counters are gaining in trade today.
That is L&T Info as well as Mindtree, both of these counters in focus. Next, let's talk about DLF, Realty Major DLF, Vaishali. We've seen the Realty counters actually see a pickup post that COVID debacle. But where does DLF land for you? Where do you see this one headed from here on?
I would recommend a buy in DLF because it's a favorable risk-reward ratio. After a decent up move, we are seeing some corrective move and again back on track. So with a small stop loss, for a positional trade, 355 would be the stop loss. And further conviction would come about 380. So DLF needs to cross 380 to see a further run-up going towards 400, 415.
Let's keep it going with that space. And Oberoi Realty also in focus. And Oberoi Realty, there was a management call that had happened last evening. What we understand is the management has maintained the confidence on strong resident sentiments, and they have a push forward with an across the board of 5 to 7% price hike for Q3 as well. Now, new launches, what the company is highlighting, the management is highlighting, should resume in the second half of the year after a Q3 gap. And they're saying no new launches have been done for the past 3 quarters as well. So the available inventory for the sales with Oberoi is 19% by area, and they are going to since been lifted. The new launches will come in place in Thane as well and Sky City as well, and the next few weeks is what we could expect coming in from the company going forward. As of now, yes, the stock is off the day's highest point, nonetheless in the green, up 0.9% on trade.
Right, let's talk about BEL, Vaishali, and we've seen these defense counters have a really good run this year, in this year calendar year itself. Where is BEL headed from here on? Do you see further strength in this one?
Definitely, because I see again the stock is picking up, and today, as we saw, it was basically all defense stocks which are showing great strength, the BHEL or HAL, and now it's time for BEL to start performing. So I would say I would look at a target of at least 115 to start with and gradually to 120 levels.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about SJVN and why this one is in focus, because its arm SJVN Green Energy has signed an MOU with Assam Power Distribution Company. This is for incorporating a JV to develop over 1,000 megawatts of floating solar power projects in Assam. This SJVN had announced this MOU, and they said that this has been signed between their wholly owned subsidiary, that is SJVN Green Energy, and Assam Power Distribution Company. They said that the MOU has been inked for developing 1,000 megawatts of floating solar power projects in Assam, and this is via incorporating a JV as mentioned earlier. And on back of that, you have SJVN that's seeing a good spike of about 2.5%.
Let's shift gears and talk about Mahindra & Mahindra, Vaishali. How are the charts looking like for this one? What are the technicals and levels one should keep an eye out on?
So Mahindra & Mahindra, we have seen a good run-up, and the stock has been consolidating at these levels. So, well, my view of a bullish bias would be negated if we break the 1200 levels. But for now, it is just in the consolidation phase between 1200 to 1270. A decisive move past 1280, we would be looking at further strength going towards 1450 and so on.
Right, let's move on and let's talk about IDFC First Bank. And Vamakshi, why is this one in focus?
Well, Cheryl, this counter is in focus and is gaining in trading session today after Motilal Oswal has initiated coverage on this stock with a buy rating. They've given a target price of 70 per share, which represents an upside potential of over 25% from the current market price. Now, the company has strengthened its balance sheet over the past few years as it consciously tries to increase the mix of retail business. They also believe that the company is well positioned to benefit from gradual rundown of its high-cost legacy borrowings, which stand at around 8 to 9% of the cost cost and replace them with deposits which are much lower cost at 5.5%. Now the bank is also entering into a phase of strong loan growth as the drag from the wholesale book moderates. Return ratios are also expected to improve sharply, and a near-term key event would be the merger of IDFC Limited and IDFC First Bank. So on the back of that, Motilal Oswal has given a big thumbs up to IDFC First Bank, and we're seeing the stock gain in trade today, up almost more than 1% as we speak.
Ashesha, Alembic Pharma, what's the news for you today?
Yes, so the stock is under pressure, nearly 1.5 to 2% lower as we speak, and this is after the company informed the exchanges that US FDA conducted an inspection at their oncology injectable formulation facility located in Gujarat. This particular inspection was conducted between the 4th of October to the 14th of October, and the company has been issued Form 483 with 4 procedural observations. None of the observations are related to data integrity. In fact, the company also says that all of these issues are addressable. The company is preparing the response to these observations, which will be submitted to US FDA within the stipulated time period. So on the back of this US FDA observations, the stock is under pressure, nearly 2% lower as we speak.
Let's shift focus and let's talk about Westlight's development, and this one is seeing a good jump in today's trading session. Vaishali, where do you see Westlight development headed from here on?
Well, it is a no-brainer actually. It has been showing a lot of strength, and today also we saw that it is in a very strong upward movement. So I would be seeing the weekly charts and all. I'm aiming for a target of 800 to 830 levels.
Target of 800 to 830 levels is what we're keeping an eye out on. Let's move on. And Ashiana Housing also in focus today. Why is that so? Because they've acquired a piece of additional land measuring 2.26 crores, 2.26 acres, I'm sorry for that, on a perpetual basis from Mahindra Life Spaces within the township of Mahindra World City at Chennai. Now, the total acquisition of the land along with the land is stated at around 17.90 acres. So keeping an eye on this one today, trading with gains of almost 2%.
Right, let's talk about Hero MotoCorp then, Vaishali, and this one has been in news, and one of the particular reasons why it's been in news is the fact that TVS Motor has surpassed Hero MotoCorp in market capitalization. Do you see now Hero MotoCorp trying to play a catch-up with regards to its stock price compared to TVS Motor and other players?
Actually, I've been tracking this stock since quite a while, but well, it's been quite a laggard compared to TVS. So the stock Hero Moto is in consolidation between 2500 to 2600 levels. Let's see if we see a run up going about 2650. I think this stock can give a move up to 2800s to start with.
All right, let's shift focus then and let's talk about Gland Pharma then, and that particular counter is in focus is the fact that Morgan Stanley has come up with a note where they've initiated coverage on Gland Pharma with an overweight rating and the target set at around 2,748 rupees per share. They're saying that Gland Pharma's entrant presence is in a difficult injectable category. So on back of that, they are upbeat on this one. They're saying it has a strong balance sheet and it's seen a sharp 45% YTD stock price correction. So that's why the stock looks attractive right now. They are also saying the shares are trading at about respective 30.1 times and 26.6 times of FY23 and FY24 estimates respectively. They're also saying the IP visibility for the complex pipeline is improving. They are giving a thumbs up on Gland Pharma. You saw the stocks react also to this particular development on this Morgan Stanley note from there on, but fizzled off and right now trading flat with a positive bias.
Let's move on to the defense space and Hindustan Aeronautics. Vaishali, this stock, over the last 1 year, when you look at it, surely slowly, steadily has picked up pace and gone up and up. It's up 67% in the last 1 year. Now, how are you seeing the charts for this one? How much more upside?
On a daily chart, I'm just seeing this stock and it's in the process of actually, making an inverted head and shoulder. So I think this stock right now at 2486, it can retest the previous high of 2675. So I'm quite upbeat on this stock.
Right, the next stock we are going to talk about is RHI. I will not tell the entire one because I find it a tongue twister, Vamakshi, but you can give it a try and tell us why this one is in focus.
Well, absolutely, Cheryl. RHI Magnesita is in focus after the stock hit an all-time high. In fact, intraday volumes at this counter are also very strong, 9 times of the 10-day average. And here's why. Well, what's aiding the rally? Metal demand has recovered, so demand for refractories also goes up. The demand for refractory is primarily dependent on the consumption of steel, which accounts for almost 65 to 75% of the total value. And apart from that, the company is also likely to acquire in the domestic refractory space. Now the company is also a lot of triggers ahead. They're seeing strong technical support from the parent company. Capex in Cuttack, Vizag may increase capacities by almost 3 times and 25% respectively. They're also likely to replace direct imports of almost around 100 million euros from the parent company. So on the back of that, we're seeing a sharp uptick come on the stock. It has gained in trade today and is trading almost 6% higher as we speak.
Let's move on. And Vaishali, Ultratech Cement, this one is in focus today. Why? How are you looking at the charts for this one actually?
I think this is one of my favorite stocks as far as the cement counter is concerned. I would say this would be a stock to be bought at every dip, keeping in mind 6,000 levels as a support. And well, gradually I would be looking for a target of 8,000. So this would not be a trading strategy, but a good positional or a long-term pick. So keeping in mind 6,000 as support and look for a target of 8,000.
Focus, and let's talk about a counter which just reported its Q2 earnings a short while ago. Newgen Software is the counter. What's the update like, Ashesha?
A strong set of numbers coming in. In fact, when the numbers came in at 12:30 today, the stock saw a big spike. It has recovered from the highest point of the day, but despite that, it is holding on with gains of over 2%. So it reported a strong set of numbers. Revenues came in at 226 crores for the quarter gone by, a jump of 20% on a sequential basis. Margins have expanded a whole lot. They've expanded by about 600 basis points. Margins have come in at 16.6% versus 10.3% margins that the company reported in the previous quarter. Profit after tax has also seen a jump. 57% growth is what we have seen on a quarter-on-quarter basis. So on the back of good set of numbers, the stock is gaining momentum, over 3.5% higher as we speak.
Okay, that is Newgen Software for you all. But let's move on. And Adani Transmission's also in focus today. We have the update coming in, business operation update coming in there. The transmission business operated the transmission lines upward by 99.76% in the quarter. They added 352 kilometers in this quarter for the operational network, with a total network of around 18,795 CKMS and the transformation capacity at 40,000 MVA. During the quarter, Lakadia also the project over there has become fully operational, and the distribution utility is up by 13% YOY growth that you're seeing coming in over there. Units sold are at around 2,233 million, increase coming in on a year-on-year basis on account of overall the energy demand that they've seen coming in. They've maintained the supply reliability of more than 99.9% as well. Distribution is improving consistently. Distribution loss is improving consistently and stands at 6% in the quarter 2 versus 7.64% in the previous year. So keeping an eye out on that. As of now, Adani Transmission's buzzing in trade up almost 3%.
All right, and that's the stock that are in focus, and those are all the stocks rather that are in focus. Thank you so much, Vaishali, Ashesha, Vamakshi, as well as Kunal for joining us on the show and taking our viewers through all the stocks that are buzzing based on news flows as well as on technical front as well.
Precious occasion of Diwali, where we are surrounded by sparkling lights, good food, and obviously playing card games.
And talking about card games, how can you not talk about Three Aces?
So we at ET Now have got you covered with the favorite Diwali game with a market twist.
This Samvat, ace your investment game with 3 top stock picks coming in from our experts to brighten your portfolio.
It is that time of the year. While we celebrate festivities, we also pray for prosperity.
Watch 3 Aces on ET Now.
Right, and that is 3 aces that you need to catch on ET Now. But not just that, it's a blockbuster Diwali right here on ET Now. And here is what Ramdev Agarwal had to say on Indian markets and global markets as well in our special conversation with my colleague Avan Dubash.
Investors will not allow it to go up, and retail investors will not allow it to go down. So it's stuck. So something has to change. So the environment is so unpredictable right now, global environment. In fact, India is actually center of peace worldwide.
We're in a sweet spot.
Very sweet spot. Everything is there, but globally things are in turmoil. And fortunately, unfortunately, we have 20% of the market owned by global investors. So their behavior will have a huge impact, and local investors are on the boil. So my sense is that it will be acting just the opposite of each other. Global environment is looking challenging. Indian valuations are at premium to rest of the emerging markets. So they will be net seller kind of thing, or maybe not much buyer. But retail will be completely on rampage, and it's a perfect thing. This is a time to buy when everybody is uncertain. For long-term investors, uncertainty is the biggest friend. So this is a time. Things will look up and down types, but this is a time you build your portfolio.
Okay, on that note, we're absolutely out of time on this edition of Market Fatafat. Thank you so much from Sharon, myself, as well as the team who put this show together. Don't go anywhere. Closing trades will take the action forward.